Next up, ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic discussion and presentation with Hema Prakash. Hema is Managing Director and Vice President for Asia Pacific for MINDBODY. MINDBODY need no introduction. They are one of the most recognizable brands working in the software and tech industry across health, fitness, and wellness. It's a really great conversation. I hope you enjoy it. Hema, thank you very much for joining us today from Sydney. What a year it's been. You're in a bit of a privileged position in our marketplace because you can look at it so macro from not just a global perspective, but then drill down into Asia Pacific. How do you see the world's fitness and wellness market now? Is Asia Pacific recovering more than others? What's the future for our marketplace like?
Brilliant question, Ross. And it's funny because Josh McCarter just, was interviewed by the NASDAQ this morning. I'm going to answer this in a couple of different parts. How's APAC doing is the first part I'm going to answer it in. Oh my goodness, I don't know what is going on out there. There's no way we could have modeled this in any way, shape, or form. We all experienced a cliff, and across the board, it was a 39% drop in revenue. Across, we're talking a data set of about 70,000 customers globally. APAC represents about 10% of that for us. The rebound has blown my mind. As of today, we ran the data sets today because we had MindBody University today. We're up 3.7% year on year in class bookings, and the revenue's trending up accordingly. So now we obviously have the subscription recurring revenue model, which is your membership fees per month, but we also, because of the integrated platform, we also look at the payments revenue as well. Now, what we've also found is Singapore and Hong Kong, they're champions. The way they open and close is something that we're now sharing with the rest of the world. So our Singapore, Hong Kong businesses, of which there's quite a few hundred of them, they're some of the most successful individual businesses globally. So we take best practice, and we have huge data science teams, as you can imagine, right? 20 years in business, 70,000 customers, absolutely accountable to market, to staff, to customers. We've had to be really good at this, and this is something we take pride on. And those numbers are telling us that the rebound has been huge. To give you an idea, inversely, the US and EMEA are in pain. And the kind of pain they're in this morning, Rick was telling me that the governor of California shut California down again. It's similar to the knee-jerk reactions that are happening here, but I'm not a scientist. All I know is that right now, the world needs a different way of living, and we've come down to this path of different way of living. Our businesses are surviving post the churn that we expected, and our consumers are hungry for classes. So if they were doing 2 classes a week before, they're now doing 3 classes a week. In fact, the data sets show us that that's pretty much the trend in the 60 to 70% mark. The other part of the question that I'd like to answer is this unknown quantity. So we're all business heads, right? We've all come from a background of running businesses, doing all these amazing things, and sometimes having to make very difficult decisions. And when this happened, MindBody, we lost 800 staff. We had to make that decision very fast. We had to move quickly. And the reason for that is we had to survive to ensure that there's a bookings platform for the 70,000 businesses in our portfolio. I couldn't have imagined a better group of people to do this with, and it's our value system that comes through as well. 800 people exited the business. We brought back just over half of that right now, half of those numbers right now. So we're now a bit more agile than we ever thought we needed to be. We always had plans to increase the processes in the business to get us there, but now we're at the forefront of it. The next thing we did was looked at technology. So we have a virtual wellness platform, and it's now integrated into the MindBody app or into the customer app. So you book in, for example, with me, I have a couple of different memberships. I book in, it's automatically in there. Your virtual classes appear. It's quite a beautiful product. That's taken many iterations since April this year. We were planning to release that product in August 2020, so a few months ago, in New York City for our Ball conference, which is a very big rah-rah event that we have that I know you're smiling. Michelle Obama speaks at it, Billie Jean King spoke at it, and Kristen Bell, all the fancy names out there. We didn't have that opportunity. We had 2 weeks. So March 13, the tsunami arrived. I remember sending Josh McCarter this message going, it's happening. It's happening in Asia. And he goes, got it. And within 2 days, we were closed down. That week, I remember thinking, my God, what's going to happen to the business? But that speed in which we moved into product was important. The third aspect of this is consumer behavior. Because of the data sets we have, we were monitoring it weekly. What's going on in Singapore? What's going on in Victoria? What's going on in, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Thailand, all these markets that we're in? We need to understand what the consumers are doing. Is it 30-minute classes that are trending up? Is it your 5-class packs? Are these customers going on Facebook Live, Zoom? What are they using? How are we going to help them? So we were feeding information back at a rapid speed. We're quite famous for sending too many emails, but this time I think all those emails were actually opened and listened to. And now we're seeing the customer base fortifying in every market. And it's showing us that we're giving people 2 or 3 tricks up their sleeves to use, and they're quite punitive if you don't use them. So they're good, smart business people anyway, and it's working for them. So revenue is trending up right now, which is incredible.
Look, that's so encouraging, Hema, to look at. Not only are you bringing people back into business within MindBody, but of course, there's now thousands of businesses recovering globally, especially here in Asia Pacific. Let's look at culture and let's look at partnerships, both internally and externally. That has always been a part of MindBody's DNA. How, even through this challenging time, have you managed to keep that front of mind and keep those so strong?
Ross, it's such an important question, and I could answer this in so many ways, but I'm going to just tell you a story. When I was an intern years and years ago, I was 19, walked into a Wall Street bank, had, glasses. I was a kid, I was just, doing an economics degree. God, what did I know about anything? There was a sign on the wall that said, "Dare to Dream." It was a beautiful poster. Can you imagine? Super hyper impressive age as well. 6 months down that internship was utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. No one was allowed to dare to dream. You had to stick by the lines. Your PowerPoints are monitored. Everything was boom, 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 done. And at that point, my view on culture changed entirely. So can you imagine? This is almost 2.5 decades ago. Everything in the world has changed. Our Gen X's, our Gen Y's, our Gen Z's that are in place right now, they're asking more from us. They're asking us to be kind to the environment, to be kind to each other, to actually evolve as human beings as we grow our businesses. So if you're in business right now, there are business case studies that HBR have run about this. It's important that you hire people diversity is important, but you've got the same value sets. Because if you don't have that rudder and you're not building on that rudder, guess what? When times are really difficult, you are going to fray at the edges. So, we have committed to wellness as one of our core values, consciously evolving, humble and helpful, empathetic, and also audaciously achieving. Now, having said that, when you've got to let go of 800 people, or when your product is not doing the best thing, when you're putting prices up, people throw this at us and say, hey, what about listening to us? What about your moral compass that you talk about? We still have a business to run. And if you were to score us versus other companies, and even people that have left us as staff will say this, we're still doing quite well on this front and quite proud of it, because it keeps us quite centered, honest, and it's an honored offering, right? And we also have to ensure that every decision that we're making is within that. So whether it's staffing, whether it's promotions, whether it's a product we're pushing out, is this actually committed to wellness, or is this an ego trip by one department? Generally, this is why MindBody has survived through some interesting times over the last 20 years. And it's something that the founders of MindBody have had through and through, innately woven into their DNA. I've had a lot of time with Rick Stollmeyer and Blake as well. It's something they believe in. So it's very important to keep this going. Right now, the teams are tired. Our clients are tired. The market is tired. So being really gentle about your approach as you consult to the market about what they need to do is very important. So I think we're doing a good job, but it's a scorecard I hold myself. It's on my laptop. It's a printed out sheet on my laptop to make sure it's there for me.
You touched on inclusion and diversity, such an important issue today, and it's been highlighted across the last few months. But given what's happening in the economic backdrop and given what's happening in businesses, it's so hard to prioritize this at the moment in time. Even though it's difficult to prioritize, we must put some energy and effort into this. How do we as an industry become best in class when it looks at inclusion and diversity? What must we do as businesses? What must we do as leaders?
For me, diversity and inclusion, one, it's your gender, it's your creed as well, right? And this is what everyone's like, oh, you're a woman of color, you speak 3 languages, lived in 4 countries. It's more than that. It's actually thought process. So we forget all of that. Let's just put all of that aside. And if we looked at evolutionary process of human beings, if we kept doing what we did and did not push, and I keep calling it starfishing in life, like touching the edges, we wouldn't have the internet. You and I would not be on Zoom right now. We've had to evolve and really get uncomfortable with the things that we've not wanted to do because they've been difficult. Now let's look at our Asian market in particular. I've been running businesses in Asia for years and years and years. It's one of the best places, believe it or not, to run a business as a woman, because it's all very revenue driven, which I love. It's people get fascinated when I say that. If right now you are sitting and making strategic decisions for your business, let's just take an 8-location yoga studio in the market, right? You're clicking over $2-3 million per annum, potentially per location if you've got the right metrics there. You're not going to grow. You will hit a plateau because you're in an echo chamber. So even in your hiring practices, I'd ask you to put all of the conscious and unconscious bias aside and really go, who do we want? Let's be really didactic about where you want your business to be and what kind of thought processes you want there. Now, I'll also ask people to look at a certain hand device that you and I, I'm sure, Ross, in our vintage have used, which no longer exists. They hired same people from the same business school. They all happen to be of the male gender, and it no longer exists. So things do disappear from the market. Apple came in and wiped most of the things out because they kept innovating. And innovation does not happen if you're not having 5, 6 different strategic, innovative conversations that are there towards your goal. So pick your goal and understand that to get there, and attach a BHAG to it, right? Your audacious pathway to it. To get there, you're going to need that. Is it difficult right now? Potentially, but don't even think about that. If your population has got 50% women and you're interviewing less than 50% women, ask your recruiters what's going on. Ask the market what's going on. I'm not saying that has to take over from your needs for the business. So balancing that is hard, but if you don't have that line of sight, you're not going to get there. So maybe a 3-year plan is the best way forward for some businesses. But if you're not doing it right now, you're missing the boat. And it's not even an option whether it's going to work or not. You will not succeed as a business.
Like you say, Hema, it's a choice. And thank you very much for reinforcing that. Thank you also for being an ambassador. We know that from this, you really have been championing inclusion and diversity in the sector and the industry, and it's something we can work together going forward. Let's look about investing in technology. You are such a proven technology company. There's many angles you can go down. There are many developments that you could choose, but what's in the pipeline now? What is coming up for MINDBODY? How are you successfully investing, not just for your business, but of course for your partners and your members?
Ross, that's a great question. Thank you. Here's what's happening. Sorry, I know I'm getting blurry. I'm just going to move back a little bit. God, I love Zoom. So we've got a couple of things going on. One, I'm going to focus on cybersecurity first. As COVID's hit, no CIO is sitting in seat sleeping right now because there have been so many nefarious elements in the market across the board. So no one that's sitting in a cloud-based business, and these are the mature businesses you want to be working with anyway, is sitting healthy. So we've invested about 10 million just this year in cybersecurity alone. Now our deep pockets have gotten deeper. This is why we've learned for over the last 20 years, the Vista investment has valued us at $2 billion, which is not a small valuation. And we've now invested close to $75 million just this year on core product and AI ML. Now, AI/ML is part of our entire existence, right? We do it every day, whether it's on social media or whether it's talking to our families on WhatsApp or on WeChat. It's happening at every juncture. So we've already got products released in the market by way of Bowtie, and we've just launched it in Australia, and it's working a treat. I personally don't want to talk to anyone because I'm always talking to someone every day. I get to text someone, it's done. We're hoping to move that to a WhatsApp, and we're working with Twilio on that. But this $75 million investment is where the deep pockets are going to count. We've had many customers tell us what we've done right, but they also tell us what we've done wrong. They've gone to competitors as well who have done a decent job at onboarding them, keeping them going at the speed that they're at. But what we haven't done is move the needle on that. This $75 million investment is going to do that. Now, that's what's brought the F45. You know, we've kept F45 globally in the markets that we've got payments, and we're bringing them all back on board slowly as well. And that's been big. That's over 1,000 locations globally. OTF, it's another brand that we work with globally. These customers are not going to sit there and say, yeah, we're going to work with MINDBODY because you're a great brand. We need to be delivering, and that delivery model is very much in place. Sunil Rajasekar, who's our new president and was our CTO, is a genius of a man, one of my favorite humans, and he's actually making these incredible changes in the business. Add to that our data sciences. If you contact your MINDBODY person right now and say, what is going on in this market, class sizes, how much should I invest in BWP, which is a wellness platform? How much should I invest in marketing, which is our marketing suite to ensure there's stickiness when one person comes to your class once, how get them in for the next 3 times? That data set, it's a data science team. That's a whole intelligence within the business that is a lot of investment. And that's really where we're also focusing our energy. So we don't want to just say, hey, we're a fancy app that has, 10 million bookings in APAC quarter on quarter without even trying. We're now saying, let's get smart about the 10 million bookings. Hold us accountable to your business as well. So that's really where we're heading towards. And the AI/ML offering is getting sharper, better and better. And this is just the way forward. It's the new generation of younger people that are coming through are not going to tolerate anything less than that. So that's what we're working towards.
$75 million of investment, Hema, is no small feat. And I think for anyone watching this, do hold your account managers responsible. Actually ask them for ideas. We've mentioned to a few studio owners who seem to be a little bit uneasy about ever using the analytics available to them now on platforms like MINDBODY. Ask. This is exactly how you get the intelligence you need to know. Last question, Hema. Let's look at the future industry. Things have changed so much. They are still evolving. I know it's been a very challenging year, but the future is bright. The future is especially exciting to us. What excites you most about the future industry in Asia and even the future global industry as a whole?
So Asia's, it's the burgeoning middle class. We all know this. We're all sitting in the seat because we know these numbers. So I'm not going to talk about that. What I didn't anticipate, what none of us anticipated, is the way people felt about eating out and working out. So I don't know what's going on in Singapore. I know you guys are still in a semi-lockdown, but in Sydney, I was calling every restaurant I knew, pulling every favor I had to go, I will take any table. Just give me a table. I am not cooking at home for another night or like eating 2-minute noodles at home for another night. I'm done. That desperation I had, I wish I could quantify it, but then we got our numbers. Our consumer booking numbers are just close to 10 million per quarter, right? For APAC, and it's about 60 million globally, have trended upwards year on year. This is for November. And this is with Victoria closed down as well. So Victoria's closed down has been a bit of a slower start because Singapore, Hong Kong are faster markets. Sydney didn't really close down. So the future of the business is in the way we make people feel. Getting to that yoga class, getting to that HIIT class, your boxing classes, your swimming squad, playing cricket, whatever your choice of wellness pathway is making people feel good. The statistic that blew my mind is that all the spending dropped 39%. So I'm looking away from this screen. People started booking more. The purchases increased by 71% when the markets opened. And we'll share all these data sets with you. So this industry is not going. A week into the lockdown, I would walk down from where I live in Sydney. It's just a harbour park, and long days, 3 or 4 sleepless nights. And I thought to myself, what's going to happen to the business? How are we going to keep it? The usual thought patterns that happens in a business leader's head. And it was 5:30 Friday, summerish, well, kind of April, late March, sorry, not April. And there was 16 group private training, socially distanced classes happening in Rush Cutters Bay Park, which is a small park. Texted Josh McCarter, Rick, and JT, our CMO, and said, oh my God, we're going to be fine. So this is after the week they said gyms are closed. So people had, I don't know what they are, Ross, I've had so much training, I should know this, but there's chains out there, things that are weighty, big gym equipment sitting in the park. And the park may as well have been a massive gym, because that proved to me that day, we're going to be fine. Evolving forward as a business, having a dual offering, looking at your data sets, ensuring you're pricing your models correctly, have the dual offering. You need to have an in-face offering and you need to have a virtual offering. The guys that are doing really well now have really moved into that and pivoted their viewpoint there. So that tells me where the industry is going. The next few months are going to be painful. It's, there's a conspicuous lack of a vaccination right now. Is it going to happen overnight? How are we going to vaccinate 7 billion people globally? There are all these questions. So what I suggest for everyone to do is understand who your customers are, what your market is, your price points, understand your offering, keep your communities closed, and make sure that the dual offering is there. We've got a bright future ahead. We have a lot of smart people in the business. I work for some incredible folks, and you could run research sets on it, and it will be a case study many decades from now. I'm certain of it. But this industry continues to surprise me at every single juncture. So I'm quite excited for what's next.
Hema, I couldn't agree any more with you there. The future is incredibly bright. I know for some watching this, wherever you are, the market is very, very challenging. Here in Asia and Asia Pacific, we are seeing some really interesting and exciting green shoots of recovery, and they're sticking. And they will continue to stick long into the future, especially once the vaccines are out and distributed. Hema, thank you again for all your time. Thank you to MindBody for your support. I look forward to engaging you continuously throughout the next few years and watching you continue to grow as well. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And please reach out if you need anything. We're here to answer the questions.
More than ever, your clients are looking for flexibility and freedom in their fitness classes. Wherever they work out, in your studio or in their living room, we can help you reach them with one hybrid solution. With our software, clients can find you anywhere, anytime. Choose the option that works for them and book with a simple click. You can keep everyone safe with digital waivers and let clients pick their spot before checking in. When it's time for class, clients experience your personal touch wherever they are. With the only live streaming platform built for the fitness industry, we make it easier for you to expand your community far beyond what was possible.